Mauga's finally nerfed, Sojourn has a buff, Illari has a buff, and many bug fixes have been shipped in this mid-season 8 patch. My name is KarQ, and let's begin. They're first going to tune Mauga's HP. They're converting 50 of its base armor back to white base health. Remember, armor has a 30% damage reduction property, so the armor total is being decreased from 250 to 200, while the base white health is going from 250 to 300. For Mauga's passive, it's called Berserker, the over health, the green health, conversion rate is being decreased from 60% to 50%. For his incendiary and volatile chain guns, you know how they share an ammo pool? Well, that's being decreased from 350 to 300 bullets. His cardiac overdrive lifesteal is being decreased from 70% to 60%. That goes for both him and his teammates who are inside of the aura. The cooldown itself is also increased from 10 seconds to 12 seconds. And finally, for his ultimate, the cage fight, it no longer grants infinite ammo. Instead, it reloads Mauga's chain guns to full, so the strategy now is to empty most of your clip and then pop your ultimate to get a fresh set of 300 bullets. Moving on to Orisa, a huge buff here, where the augmented fusion driver no longer has fall off damage. This is actually a pretty significant buff, because if you look at the before and after, you can see that at mid to long ranges, no fall off damage means that a spear into a wall comboed with your shot is actually more than enough to confirm a kill in a lot of cases. Now for Orisa's Fortify, the way it's supposed to work is that she's not supposed to be able to take headshot damage or critical damage, right? But when Mauga came out, his unique style of applying critical damage was burning them and then shooting primary fire. And we found out in the Mythbuster episode a few weeks ago that Mauga could crit and basically destroy Orisa's in this case. So now they got rid of it to keep it consistent. All right, Roadhog sustain is a little high, so they're reducing Take a Breather's total amount HP healed from 500 to 450, and the cooldown between usages is increased from 1 to 1.5 seconds. Sojourn getting a small surprising buff where the railgun gradual energy decay no longer decreases below 25%. So you're always able to retain a little bit of charge no matter what now. Don't know how I feel about this one. I think she's already a really good hero. For Sombra's hack, this one's an interesting one in the patch notes. It says that the server update rate while channeling is increased to improve responsiveness. All in all, it'll probably help you complete your hacks more consistently without it randomly ending prematurely and you not pulling off the hack altogether. For Sombra's stealth, the grace period where stealth can be cancelled immediately after entering it is increased from 0.5 to 0.75 seconds, and the cooldown now pauses at 1 second while capturing or contesting objectives from the previous 1.5 seconds. And finally, the cooldown on respawning is decreased from 1.5 to 1 second. A small Ana nerf where the biotic grenade's effect duration is being reduced from 3.5 to 3 seconds. That also applies for friendly teammates as well, so it's kind of like a dual nerf. For Illari, the solar rifle primary fire charge gain is no longer paused by using your secondary fire or the healing beam, or while channeling the captive sun. The ammo is also increased from 14 to 16 bullets. Now for her Captive Sun ultimate, it now fully refills your secondary fire resource meter and it resets the overheat status. They've also now removed the damage falloff penalty from that Sunstruck explosion, so people who are far away from the explosion, if they get tagged at all, it'll still do the full amount, like so. And finally for Lifeweaver, his Thorn Volley projectile speed is being increased from 70 meters to 80 meters per second. This is what it looks like, and that's a pretty nice buff to help you land a few more shots on really mobile heroes like Tracer, for example. And for Petal Platform, it is no longer pierced by piercing projectiles, so that's a buff. So piercing projectiles being things like Ryan's Fire Strike can no longer go through it, and Ramatra's Nemesis punches will no longer go through it as well. That's it for the mid-season patch notes, but there are a lot of bug fixes. Some of the more important ones where I hear a lot of issues are the whole reticle or the crosshair options, where everyone's like, oh my god, my crosshair changed at the beginning of the season. Well, they basically added more options like the dot size and outline thickness, and that change in Season 8 ended up modifying a lot of crosshairs, so it seems like they've fixed that and reverted it and set it back to 0. The hero bug fixes, there's one where the Bastion hitbox became desynchronized while in the assault form, so now it should be consistent through both its transformations. Doom, they fixed a bug where the rocket punch could make people lose their walking animation. For Echo, if you copied a Sigma and did the suck or the kinetic grasp, you would not gain that overhealth while taking damage. For Illari, they fixed a bug where the Sunstruck effect, or from the ultimate, wouldn't detonate if the damage threshold was reached in the last like 0.6 seconds of the effect. And for Mercy, this was considered a bug or a glitch, but you know, some Mercy players will say it's a tech, where they fix an issue that reduced Guardian Angel's active duration by canceling the ability while simultaneously pressing crouch or jump. So instead of that 3-second cooldown period, you could bypass it and start the cooldown immediately by pressing those buttons. While in GA, they fixed that, so yeah. Also, they fixed the issue where Mercy was forced to reload if Valk was activated during the reload animation. And that's it. That's the patch. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.